Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jannatira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीपाद परमहंस साक्षात विरागी मूर्ति श्री गौर कृष्ण बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्रीपाद परमहंस सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। श्रीपाद परमहंस वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ बाबा जी महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम Canto 10, Chapter 58, entitled Krishna marries 5 princes. So there are total 3 verses given to me, 8, 9 and 10. So verse number 8 and 9 does not have any purport, but 10 have. So I'll just chant the verse number 8 and 9, text and translation. And when I come to text number 10, then you can chant after me. तमाह prema-vaiklavya ruddha-kaṇṭhāśru-locanā smarantī tān bahūn kleśān kleśāpāyātma-darśanam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. So, overcome by love that her throat choked up and her eyes filled with tears, Queen Kuntī remembered the many troubles she and her sons had endured. Thus, she addressed Lord Kṛṣṇa, who appeared before his devotees to drive away their distress. Text number 9. Tatheva kuṣlam no bhūsana tatha aste krita vayam chatin spata Krishna bhata me preshistavya. Translation. Queen Kunti said, My dear Krishna, our welfare was assured only when you remembered us, your relative, and gave us your protection by sending my brother to visit us. Who is the brother of King Kuntī? Akrura. Yes. Now today's verse number 10. Natesti swapara bhranti vishvasya suhaddatmanaha tadhapi smratam shashvat kleśān hansi hridi sthitah nate asti swapara bhranti vishvasya sudhatmanaha tadhapi smratam shashvat kleśān hansi hridi sthitah nate asti swapara bhranti vishvasya sudhatmana tadhapi smratam shashvat kleśān hansi hridi sthitah. Vaishnavas, please chant. Nate asti swapara bhranti vishvasya suhardātmana tadhapi smarantam sasvat kleśān hansi sthitah. Nate asti swapara bhranti vishvasya sudhatmana tadhapi smratam shashvat kleśān hansi hridi sthitah. Vaishnavis, nate asti swapara bhranti vishvasya sudhatmana tadhapi smratam shashvat kleśān hansi hridi sthitah. Translation, please repeat after me. Na, not. Te, for you. Asti, there is. Swa, of one's own. Para, and of others. Bhranti, delusion. Vishvasya, of the universe. Suhard, for the well-wisher. Atmanaha, and soul. Tadhapi, nonetheless. Smarantam, of those who remember. Sasvat, continuously. Kleśān, the sufferings. Hamsi, you destroy. Hridi, in the heart. Sthita, situated. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For you, the well-wishing friend and supreme soul of the universe, there is never any illusion of us and them. Yet even so, residing within the heart of all, you eradicate the sufferings of those who remember you constantly. Purport, very small purport. The intelligent Queen Kuntī here points out that even though Lord Kṛṣṇa is dealing with her affectionately as a relative, he is not compromising his position as the well-wishing soul of the universe. In other words, the Lord does not play favorites. As he says in the Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to everyone. So while the Lord reciprocates with all souls, it is natural that those who love with him intensely receive his special attention, for they want him and nothing else. So many times in this world people say, your Lord is partial. Amajnantimirandasya jnana anjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangu lingayate girim yat kripatam ham vande Shri Guru Dīnatarinam vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhayevicha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome to all of you in our Srimad Bhagavatam session. In any place, if we glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, is always auspicious. But that to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam in Sridham, Vrindavan, in the presence of all you exalted devotees, what a fortune, what a nice thing. So first of all, I'll seek the blessing of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are sitting here, and the Vaishnavas or Vaishnavis who are hearing online. And it is said that Gulirate matam yati nachure asana sanstita prasada shikhro astapi kakana grunayate. That one become great by the quality that he possesses, not by sitting on a high seat. Just like a crow does not become Garuna simply by sitting on the mansion of the palace. So somehow I have kept in such a situation to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. The exalted devotees of Vrindavan, very embarrassing, but just for my own purification, I will try to speak something in my broken language. If any mistake, if any shortcomings, please forgive me. Thanks to ISKCON Vrindavan management for giving us opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Although in principle, the devotees were free from the three effects of material modes, or those are free from the four defects of conditioned life, they can justify this Srimad Bhagavatam and they can justify the divine purpose of Srila Prabhupada. And a person like me who is fully influenced by the three modes having four defects, what can be done? When since service is given, so for more purification I will try to say something. And thanks to ISKCON Vrindavan management for giving opportunity to say something about Srimad Bhagavatam, the great literature of the universe. So I'll be short in my speech and may finish my class maybe 4 or 5 minutes before. So first, I'll just go through the short summary in this chapter. So as you all know, that this chapter basically describes how Lord Kṛṣṇa married 5 brides, beginning with Kalindi, and went to Indraprastha to visit the Pandavas. And after the Pandavas had completed their incognito exile, Lord Kṛṣṇa went with Satyaki and other Yadus to see them in the Prastha. Satyaki known as Yudhana also, his name comes in Bhagavad Gita. The Pandavas greeted the Lord and embraced him in a great ecstasy. Their new bride, Draupadi, shyly approached Krishna and bowed down to him. Then the Pandavas properly worshipped and welcomed Satyaki and the Lord's other companions, offering them sitting places. Lord Kṛṣṇa visited Kunti Devi, and Kunti Devi recalled the various miseries Duryodhana had inflicted upon her and her sons. She remarked that Krishna was their only protector, and she said that you are the well-wisher of the entire universe. So, one day, Krishna and Arjuna went hunting in the forest. While bathing in the Yamuna river, they saw a charming young girl or maiden. So on Krishna's request, Arjuna went up to the girl and asked for who she was. And the beautiful maiden replied, I am Kalindi, the daughter of the sun god, hoping to attain Lord Vishnu as my husband. I have been performing severe austerities. I will accept no one else as my husband. And until he marries me, I will remain in the Yamuna, living in a house my father built for me there. So his father built a house in river Yamuna. After Arjuna reported all this to Krishna, the omniscient Lord took Kalindi onto his chariot, and then the three of them returned to Yudhishthira's residence. Later, as you all know, Krishna married with Kalindi in Dwarka. So, one of the Acharya, namely Vishwanath Chakravarti, mentioned in his commentary that the main purpose of Lord Krishna visited to Indraprastha is to get married with Kalindi. Because Kalindi would perform severe austerities to attain him. So as you all know that Krishna had 16,108 queens, and those 100 queens were major queens. Among those 16,800, the 100 were major queens, and among 100 there were 8 chief queens. In Hindi it is called Patarani. So Krishna first married with Queen Rukmani, and secondly married with Jamavati, the daughter of Jamvan. And third wife is Satyabhama, and these 5 queens who were mentioned in this chapter. So the 5 names of Krishna's princess as per this chapters are: number 1, Kalindi, then Mitravinda, the sister of King Avantipura, and third is Satya or Nagjiti, the daughter of King of Ayodhya or Koshalya, Nagajit. And then fourth is Lakshmana, the daughter of King Madra, and then Bhadra, a princess of Kekaya kingdom. So among these 5 marriages, 3 times fighting took place. Except the Kalindi and the Bhadra, there was no fighting. But these 3 princes, Mitravanda, Satya and Lakshmana, there was a great fight. In case of Mitravanda, although she herself chosen the Lord as her husband, but fighting took place with two brothers of her only, namely Vindhya and Anuvindhya. And this even after Swayamvar. And they were the follower of Duryodhana. So naturally they have to fight with Lord Shri Krishna. And then same with the Satya also, that Satya's father Nagjiti put a condition in front of Lord that I have 7 ferocious, strong bulls who are never ever controlled by anyone. So if you control that 7 bulls, I offer my daughter to you. So Lord Krishna explained himself in a 7 form, and he controlled all the bulls very easily and got married. And then also fighting took place. There was some opposition for Krishna also. He is legally doing marriage, but still there was opposition. So just see, in this world, even Lord has to face the opposition for marriage. Then Bhadra. In case of Bhadra, there was no fighting. So later Lord Krishna married 16,100 queens by killing Narakasura. Somebody may ask that why Lord married with 16,100 queens? What was the need for the Lord to marry with them? So the answer is, in the Vedic time, there was a culture that if a girl stayed outside of his home, even for one night or even for one day, then the society doubt on her character. They don't accept her so easily. And God is the biggest social reformer. So just to save their shame, in Hindi it is called Laj, just to save their reputation, Lord married these all queens at one time, in an auspicious time, in a one particular muhurta. So I'll just recap before we come to our verse. In the verse number 1, Shukdev Goswami said that once Krishna went to Indraprastha to meet his dear Pandavas with Yudhana, that means Satyaki, and other Yadus. Generally, Yudhana or Satyaki and Arjuna were most of the time with Lord Sri Krishna because they were very strong and conqueror of all the senses. Veera, therefore it is called Veera. Veera means one who conquered their senses. And they were strong also, no doubt. So in the purport is mentioned that almost everyone except Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama had thought the Pandavas perished in the fire set by Duryodhana in the house of lac. Now the Pandavas had appeared again in public and Krishna was paying them a visit. And Sanatana Goswami says that Lord Sri Krishna, who had all qualities of a good person, such as affectionate for his devotees, went to Indraprastha when the Pandavas were visible there to see them. Previously the Pandavas lived with Duryodhana in Hastinapur, but after marrying Draupadi at her father's house, by the order of Bhishma, Dhritarashtra gave them a half of the kingdom. This is described in a great detail in Adi Parva of Mahabharata. So Krishna was glorious with great wealth, and he went to give them all the wealth since they had suffered for a long time. You all know the miseries of the Pandavas, how they suffered. For a long time they have suffered. In fact, the suffering of Mother Kunti is much, much greater than the suffering of Mother Devaki, the Lord's own mother. So therefore, Lord wants to personally visit and to see them and support them. Previously, Pandavas lived with Lord Krishna gave them to all wealth since they had suffered for a long time. He went with Satyaki because he was a main Yadu and dear to the Pandavas who suffered for a long time. Balarama did not go. Being the guru of Duryodhana, he was not particularly friendly with the Pandavas, or his association was not proper when Krishna was to marry Kalindi. In the next verse, it is mentioned that when the Pandavas saw the Lord Mukunda had arrived, those heroic sons of Pratha, means Mother Kunti, all stood up at once, like the senses responding to the return of the life air. That means when consciousness returns to the unconscious body, the five senses spring to life and start functioning. Similarly, the five Pandavas all stood up at once, enlivened the return of their Lord Shri Krishna. In the next verse, it is mentioned that Shukdev Goswami further said that the heroes of the Pandavas embraced Lord Achyuta, and the touch of his feet freed them of sin. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. So as soon as the Pandavas saw the Lord Shri Krishna, their all misery, their complaint moved, their anxiety, their suffering all gone. This is a Vaishnava. So Acharya says that the Krishna, just to give them a great joy, greatest joy, Krishna embraced them for a long time. And Sanatana Goswami said that they embraced Krishna because they were the best devotees. The sorrow of the Pandavas was destroyed. Seeing the smiling face of Krishna with affection, the Pandavas became blissful because of the natural beauty of Krishna, or considering his mercy upon them. Just how the devotee reciprocates with the Lord. So here, Lord Krishna showed how to give respect and Sanatana Goswami said that and when the Lord went to visit to the Pandavas, to meet Pandavas, so what Lord did? Lord Krishna showed how to give respect and honor to the seniors, to the equals, and to the juniors. That is the lesson for us. Since the Yudhishthira and Bhima were his seniors externally, therefore Lord bowed down at their feet. As Arjuna was equal to him, therefore Lord embraced him and accepted obeisances for Nakula and Sahadeva, who were his juniors. So here a teaching comes for us. There is a verse mentioned in Canto 4, chapter 8, where Narad Muni instructs Dhruva Maharaj how to get rid from the misery of this world, how to be free from the suffering of this world. And the verse number is 34. Gunadhikana mudam lipset anukrosham gunadhamat maitre samanat anvichtape rabhuyate. So Prabhupada says, generally, when we meet a person who is more qualified than us, than what we do, especially from myself, I'm talking about. When we meet a person who is more qualified than us, then we become envious of him, become jealous of him. And when we find a person who is equal to us, then we may become proud of our activities, our act, such things. Our achievements, we can become proud of that. And we come across a person who is less qualified than us, then we deride him, or we make fun of him. And these are the cause of material tribulation, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's a very deep point. Please try to pay attention on it. But Narad Muni says that when we meet a person who is more qualified than us, Gunadhikan, then instead of becoming envious of him, we should be pleased with him. We should go and happily receive him. We should be joyful while interacting with him. We should be happy at heart. What an opportunity to see such a Vaishnava, such a great Vaishnava who is much more qualified than me. Now it's an opportunity for me to learn so many things from him. That should be the mood of a Vaishnava when he meets with superiors or seniors. Simply by seeing him, one becomes joyful at heart. Oh, what a Vaishnava! What a Vaishnava! So instead of being envious of such a person, one should be jolly. One should be jolly to receive him. And when one meets an equal, so instead of being proud of one's own achievements or activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should interact him very lovingly, very friendly. He should be comfortable with our presence. He should be well comfortable. And when one meets a less qualified man, so instead of being cruel or harsh or oppressive to a less qualified man, one should become compassionate towards him, just to raise him to the proper standard. And at the end, one should also have compassion for the people in general who have forgotten Lord Shri Krishna, who are away from Shri Krishna. One should deal them very lovingly, very carefully, and with great compassion one should deal with them, not to be hatred with them. So how to surpass the mystery of this world? Very simple formula given by Narad Muni, and Lord Krishna is demonstrating the principle here. When you meet a more qualified person, rejoice with, not envious. When you meet an equally person who is equally qualified, then be friendly and not to be competitive. When you meet a less qualified person, feel compassion and not contempt. So if one sincerely does this, he is the personality who is happy in this miserable world. So simple. Very easy to how to become happy in this world. This is the formula. Just how to interact with the Vaishnavas. In the community of Vaishnavas, there are always some are superior to us, some of them are equal to us, some of them are junior to us. But simply by just one Vaishnava dealing, Srimad Bhagavatam says, Narad Muni says, one can be completely free from the misery of three worlds. Of course, it's quite a matter of realization, and it's also beyond my realization. I'm simply speaking because I felt the demand of subject matter. Now come to the next verse. After the Lord bowed down at the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhima and firmly embraced Arjuna, he accepted obeisances from the twin brothers, Nakula and Sahadeva. And that time, Draupadi had newly married with Arjuna, came to offer her obeisances to the Lord, Shri Krishna. Then the faultless Draupadi came to Krishna to offer her humble obeisances to the Lord, Shri Krishna, with full of her shyness. Why she was shy? Because she was newly married, and in a Vedic tradition is that when a newly married girl shy, out of shyness she covers her head till here. It is in Hindi, it is called ghungat. So this is the way to pay homage to the superiors, to the offer respect to the superiors. So Draupadi, daughter of King Draupadi, also referred to a Krishna, Panchali and a Yajnaseni. She is the main female protagonist or supporter of Vedic epic Mahabharata, the wife of the 5 Pandavas. Since Lord Kṛṣṇa also specifically asked for Draupadi Devi also for her well-being, so I'll just glorify for 2 minutes and then we go ahead. So Draupadi had 5 sons, namely Pittavindya by Yudhishthira, Shutotsama by Bhima, Shuttakarma by Arjuna, Shantikeya by Nakula, and Shutsena by Sahadeva. So Draupadi resilience after being humiliated by the Kauravas illustrate the inconceivable spirit of a woman. Despite her tribulation, she refused to be a passive victim and sought justice. Her vow to avenge herself by washing her hair with the blood of Duryodhana and Dushasana served as a central or significant spark or fuel for the war. She was extremely beautiful, intelligent, and virtuous woman, with her body smiling like a fresh bloomed lotus. There are only a few women in the Vedic history who were aggressive and who spoke in their mind or their thoughts in this world of a man, in this men-dominated society. Draupadi was one of them. She is considered by many as the first feminist of the Vedic culture. So Draupadi character can be compared to the ranch of flames in Yajna. She is fire personified, willful, resilient, dignified, strong, determined, capable, pure, and loving. Draupadi is an inspiration for women of all ages as a person who stood for dharma and truth. And the Lord Kṛṣṇa, finally we come to our verse, Lord Kṛṣṇa went to meet Kuntī Maharani. Lord bowed down to her and Kuntī Maharani embraced him. Then the Lord inquired from her and her daughter-in-law Draupadi about their welfare. That was the reason I wanted to glorify Draupadi Devi. And as soon as Kuntī Devi saw the Lord, her throat choked up due to loving sentiments for the Lord, loving spiritual sentiments. And his eyes filled with tears of deep gratitude for the Lord. When you naturally feel gratitude for someone, there will be, if gratitude is genuine, there will naturally be tear in your eyes as soon as you see that person, because you remember what all he did for me in the past. But I am because of his support, his mercy. This is the heart of a devotee who has a quality of gratitude. And she immediately remembered all the calamities that she went through along with their 5 sons. But as soon as she had the opportunity to have the darshan of the Lord, her suffering was completely destroyed. So this is the true devotee, a true Vaishnava. The moment you have a darshan of the Lord, the moment you hear Hari Katha, the moment you see the Vaishnavas, you hear from him about the Lord, all your complaining mood, the negativity in the mind, the problems of the life, the disturbance of the mind, confusing state, complaining mood, etc., etc., should be completely destroyed. Just one lecture is enough to get it from all the miseries of life and come out from negative zone to keep our consciousness in a positive zone. That's a Vaishnava. One simply we had see Kuntī Maharani just having a darshan of the Lord, and all his suffering is gone, because she is so joyful by seeing the Krishna, so blissful just by having his darshan. So this is the power of Krishna Katha. You go to positive zone because the heart is nurtured and nourished by the power of Krishna Katha. So Kuntī went to the severe calamities one after another. It is mentioned in first canto, the calamities she talks about, first canto, chapter number 8. There are a series of verses from 23, 24 and 25. I'll take one of the verse for 2 minutes, how she went through the suffering, then how she expressed her gratitude for the Lord, and how she says that, oh Lord, you are not partial to this world. The verse is like this. Vishagna mahagne purusha dadarshana das sabhaya vanvasa krachataha mradhe madaneka maharato istrito dora sachachashma hare bhirikshitaha. Vishad means the poisonous sweets. Vishad means poison. As you all know that once on a day of Deepavali, the Kauravas and Pandavas went for a picnic. And with the permission of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana gave a poisonous sweets to Bhima. But by the mercy of the Lord, Bhima was saved. Not only saved, but he got the strength of 10,000 elephants. So you all know that pastime. So Krishna is remembering that. How Lord saved me. This is the gratitude of a devotee, the love of a devotee. Immediately he saw Krishna, immediately went back and recalling how misery I went through. And not only that, remembering, when you have a gratitude for someone, you just don't express your gratitude, but you are always eager to reciprocate with that person through some service. Here Kunti Devi is how serving the Lord? By glorifying Him, by expressing her gratitude. So Vishad Kand was over. Then the second word is Mahagni, the Lakshagraha Kand, that you all know that once Dhritarashtra called Yudhishthira in the assembly, and he said, my dear son, you are also a prince of the Kuru dynasty. So why you are staying in this palace, in a small palace, with 100 Kauravas? It's become very cozy. We have already made a separate palace for you. You go, stay there, have a nice time. You can be more comfortable there. All the facilities are there. And Yudhishthira accepted their proposal. But as you all know, the palace was made of the lake. And the planning was, when the Yudhishthira and his party shift to the lake, there will be a fire set by Duryodhana. And this planning, somehow Vidura came to know. He immediately called the Yudhishthira to inspect that palace. And while inspecting, he just said, in an interaction, he just said to Yudhishthira that, when the fire set in the forest, all the animals burns except one. Who's that? Yudhishthira said, rat. He said, yes. So Yudhishthira understood the hint of the Vidura, that in the palace, since Vidura was in charge of that constantly in charge of that palace, so Yudhishthira understood that there is a tunnel made in the palace. So when such thing happen, fire will be set, they can go. And they were saved. So Kunti Mani is remembering that. Now third is Purusha Ada Darshana. Purusha Ada means the Narbhakshi, the Narbhakshi episode. Narbhakshi means one who eats human flesh. So Bhima was able to conquer, to kill that Narbhakshi, one who eats human flesh, by the grace of the Lord in the forest. See, remembering that. And the fourth one is Asat Sabha. So as you all know, how Duryodhana and his brothers tried to disrobe Draupadi Devi in front of her 5 powerful Mahabali husbands and Mahajana like Bhishma. But no one could save her, only the Lord Govinda saved her Laj, her shame. So she's remembering that. Then Vanvas Krichita, the suffering of exile to the forest, such as there was an attempt to kidnap Draupadi by Jayadratha. And sage Durvasa had come with his 10,000 disciples to receive food. That time also Govinda helped them and saved their reputation. So like that, Lord Kṛṣṇa had protected Kunti Maharani and her son in many such difficulties, many such difficult situations, one after another. And in the battlefield of Kurukshetra also Arjuna had to fight with unconquerable great generals like Bhishma, Drona, Karna and many such warriors. But Arjuna was able to kill all of them. How? By the grace of Lord Shri Krishna. And at the end of the war, Lord Krishna saved the only surviving descendant of the Kurus. Who was that? The great Parikshit Maharaj from the Brahmastra, which was released by Ashwatthama. So like that, Kunti Maharani was remembering all the miseries that she went through and how Krishna protected her and her son at every step. So Kunti Maharani further says, after remembering this, how Lord protected her, she expressed her gratitude for the Lord at her heart. And now, she's saying that, "O Lord, you were more merciful upon me than your own mother Devaki." How? So Vishnu Chakradipad gives beautiful insight in this connection, that because Krishna did not protect the children of Devaki, now Devaki's all the children were killed except Krishna and Balarama, whereas he protected all the sons of Mother Kunti. This is the favor of Krishna. Kunti's suffering were more severe than the suffering of Devaki. She suffered only one time, whereas there were a volley of problems, a series of calamities in the life of Kunti, one after another. I just mentioned few, all suffering you know. And the mother Devaki had suffering of killing many children by Kaṇṭhā. But when Krishna himself appeared as her son, then she became very joyful. Naturally, when the Lord appeared as a son on her own womb, and where is the misery? All suffering were gone. And she forgot all suffering of the past. Because the Lord Krishna has appeared as his son. And after the appearance of Krishna, there was no danger to Mother Devaki. But in case of Kunti, we see that the suffering of Kunti went on and on and on till the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And why Krishna was so merciful to Devaki? There are few reasons. Devaki had a husband, whereas Kunti was anatha. She didn't have husband. She was a widow lady. Anatha means no natha, no swami, or no husband. So this was fully dependent upon the mercy. Thus she was fully dependent upon the mercy of the Lord. And Lord becomes so merciful to her because Lord knew that she has no support. She didn't have any husband. She's a widow lady. Since Vasudeva was alive, there was a possibility that Devaki may have more children. But this was not the case of Mother Kunti. So these are the few reasons given by Prabhupada and the Acharya that why Lord Krishna was more merciful than the Kunti Devi. And one of the Acharya says, the suffering of the life of a Vaishnava, the suffering that comes in the life of a devotee are nothing but is the Leela of the Lord, is the plan of the Lord. And then today's verse, she says that, O Lord, you are not only the well-wisher and protector of us, because she was expressing that how you protect us, so somebody may misunderstand. So therefore she is saying, O Lord, you are not only the only well-wisher and protector of us, but you are the protector in the soul of whole universe. So basically, Kunti Maharani glorifying Krishna by saying that you are equal to all. Lord Krishna does not show favoritism towards anyone. It is not just that he takes one side and against the other. So, Sambhava does not mean that you do what you want to do and still expect the same mercy to come, that mercy given to the Krishna. It's not a Sambhava. You do what you want to do and still Lord be merciful to you. No. He is merciful to his devotees. So this is not Sambhava, but it is a Viveka Bhava, the lack of the power of discrimination. And Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.11, which is that verse, Ye yathamam prabhaddante tansativ bhajameham. The way you take my shelter, the same I reciprocate with you. If you want to forget me, I give the facility to forget me. If you want to serve me, I give the facilities to serve me. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita 9.99, Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Lord says, I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But anyone who loves me, I love him. Anyone who serves me in devotion, I protect him. So Prabhupada's points is one may question if Krishna is equal to everyone, then why he does take favor of his devotees? Why he takes special interest in his devotees? Somebody may argue, if Lord is equal to everyone, then why Krishna takes special favor to Vaishnavas, to the devotees? But in fact, Srila Prabhupada says very natural thing. If someone loves you naturally, you will love him. If someone serves you, you will naturally serve him as a reciprocation. So the same way is with the Lord. In fact, this reciprocating tendency comes within us from the Lord only. So no one should blame the Lord for his transparency. No one can blame the Lord, oh Lord, you are partial. And to establish this principle, Srila Prabhupada gives some other example, which I'll just share with you. One is very common example of the sun. That sun gives its light equally to everyone. His light is heat for everyone. But if someone sitting in a dark room is not coming out, and then he blames that sun is partial to me, he's not giving light to me. Come on, you come out of the room like others are coming. You also take the benefit of the sun's light and heat. like others are getting. So if you have any problem, you also become devotee. Take the mercy of the Lord, ask for His protection, He will give you. Where is the partiality? In the cloud, Lord is just like a cloud which pours rain equally to all, whether it's a stone or a land, water or a field, etc. But lemon will grow on a lemon tree and the mango will grow on a mango tree. So it's not the fault of the rain. So whatever is the feeling, such is the result. In Hindi it is said, Jaki rahi bhavana jaisi, tane prabhu murat dekhi vaisi. The very beautiful example of wrestling arena of Kaṇṭhā. The same Lord is standing, but everyone seeing the Lord in a different way based on his mood, based on his consciousness, based on a particular bhava with the Lord. Some are seeing Lord as a friend, some are seeing the Lord as his son, some are seeing the Lord as his lover, and some of them like Chandir and Mushtir were seeing the Lord as a death personified. So it's up to the one's own consciousness. And of course, one of the Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti gives the example of a kalpatru tree. He says that Lord is like a kalpatru tree. Man gets whatever he asks from this tree. You ask, you will get what you ask for it. And one more example of a judge. If a judge gives death sentence to someone and acquits someone, it means release him from his offense. So it does not mean that he is biased. He is only giving a decision according to the judicial code, according to the laws. It's not the fault of the judge. Similarly, Lord is always behave in the same way. If you do not want to devotional service, then Lord remains indifferent towards you. But still out of God's mercy, He provides all the necessary things for your survival so that you can live peacefully. But if you do devotional service to Him with love, then He gives you the protection of His lotus feet. So this is what Kunti is trying to say in this verse. And Acharya says in the commentary that Kunti Maharani says that you are the well-wisher friend in the super soul of the whole universe, and you are equal to all, and you do not have a feeling of self and others. There is no illusion of us and them, me and mine and others, friend and enemy. Although you reside in the heart of every living entity, still those who worship you, serve you, love you, those who perform 9 types of devotional service, this is by Sanatana Goswami, those who perform 9 types of devotional service, that means your loving devotees, only devotees will perform Navada Bhakti. So you destroy, the Lord destroys the suffering in an extraordinary way from the root only. And Jiva Goswami gives the beautiful example of a sun. Just as the sun destroys the darkness for the person who has eyes, but not for the blind man. Similarly, Lord shows the way to His devotees how to come out from the suffering of life, but it does not destroy the suffering of non-devotees. So it's clear, it's crystal clear. The Lord is not partial to anyone. So today is the day of the disappearance day of Srila Ramananda Raya also. So let us glorify and remember him on this auspicious day. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 24 years in Navadvip Dham, 6 years visiting in the South India, and 18 years he spent his time in Jagannath Puri. So what was the purpose of Mahaprabhu going to South India? To visit the holy places? Absolutely not. The primary reason for Mahaprabhu to visit South India is to meet Sri Ramananda Raya and hear from him about the Krishna Tattva, about the Radha Tattva, and to know the aim of life. So that is the prime purpose of Mahaprabhu to visit South India. So you can understand how important Sri Ramananda Raya. So who is Sri Ramananda Raya? As stated in Gaura-Gandesh Deepika, the book in which the description is written of the associates of Mahaprabhu is mentioned. Some people say that Ramananda Raya is an incarnation of Lalita Sakhi. And some says he is the incarnation of Vishakha. But Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes in his commentary of Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.8.23 that the love that awakened in the Ramananda Raya and Mahaprabhu when they met was the same as the love that Vishakha had for Radha and Krishna of Braja. So it is clear that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur saw Ramananda Raya as Vishakha. He is the incarnation of Vishakha Sakhi. Ramananda Raya was one of the Lord's 3.5 most intimate associates. Among all the associates of Mahaprabhu, 3.5 associates are very prominent. Who were they? Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Raya, Shikhi Mahathi, and his sister Madhvi Mahathi. So he is Mahaprabhu. He is a combined form of Radha and Krishna. But who knows about Radharani? न जाने राधा रे प्रेमा आछे काता बाला यही बाला अमारे करे सर्वदा विभाला. Krishna does not know how much strength is there in Radha's love. He does not know the glories of Radharani. He does not know the depth of the love of Radharani for Krishna. But then, who knows the glories of Radharani? Who knows the glories? Those who are in oneness with Radharani. Oneness means being very intimate with Radharani. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. So Lalita Sakhi is the Yugal Guru. Yugal Guru means Lalita is the Guru of Radha and Krishna. And she chastises Radha and Krishna both. Because she is little harsh. Lalita Sakhi is very strong in her nature. But Vishakha is very mellow, very mild. So Radharani shares her feeling of Krishna with Vishakha Devi. So Vishakha knows Radharani more than Krishna. And what is the mission of Mahaprabhu? What's the mission of Mahaprabhu? Yadi Gurangere na hoito, tabe ki haito. Kemino dhatira dhane deha, radhar mahima, prema rasa sima, jagat janat ke. So Mahaprabhu came to glorify Radharani, to show the entire world what Radharani goes through in her love for Krishna. The mood of separation. But how to know about Radharani? Where does Lord Krishna goes? He has to go to some school to learn the bhava of Radharani. So for this purpose, he went to South India on the bank of Godavari to hear from Ramananda Raya or Vishakha Devi. Nitaya Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Ramananda Raya ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitaya Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.